Now that we've selected a little bit of geometry from our Revit family and done some computations to build that list of reference points, let's take a look at the creation step. And in this case, we're going to create some curves. We're going to do it a couple different ways. We can create a Revit curve directly from the reference points and then extract that geometry. Okay, use the curve element.curve node to extract the Revit curve and make a NURBS curve in Dynamo out of that. We'll also look at a second method you could use, which is to actually take the reference points and convert them into Dynamo points. There's reference point.point, which is a node which converts those reference points to Dynamo geometry points. We can create the NURBS curve in Dynamo and then create a model curve from the NURBS curve. So it's really just two different paths to the same endpoint. So let's take a look at how we can do that. So we've built our list of reference points over here. Let's come back and again think about how we want to create that curve. I can either take that list of points and do curve by points by reference points, and the result of that is it's going to create a curve. That's a Revit curve. That Revit curve is ultimately connected into curve element.curve. That actually extracts the NURBS curve from it. So now I have the two different curves I need. I have the Revit curve. I also have the Dynamo curve. So I can go ahead and divide that curve or continue to operate on it. And that's one way of approaching this. Okay. Let's look at the other way though. Now, you'll notice that when I took out that curve, all the reference points disappeared, and that's not very good. So just in our example, let me undo that. Bring those on back. Make sure they're still selected. Actually, get rid of that. Okay, looks like I need to reselect my reference points. Beautiful. So I have my list together again. Now for the second method, let's go ahead and do this. Again, we have our reference points. They're hanging around over here. I want to create some point functions in Dynamo, so I can pull that on down. Okay. This actually results in a list of 3 different Dynamo points. I can then take those different points together and connect them into a NURBS curve. Okay, so that actually created the NURBS curve within Dynamo. And then finally, we can take that NURBS curve and just make a model curve out of it. And the result of that is going to be the model curve that's usually see over here. So the point is there's really several different ways we can do this, but in any case, what we often try to do is basically pull a little bit of Revit model geometry, whether it's points or a curve, and pull out the geometry into Dynamo so we can then do some manipulations and help create some new Revit model elements based on that geometry.